Global warming is directly affecting biodiversity, as the climate changes caused by this phenomenon can hinder the development of many species. In a scenario close to the current one, a 1.5 degrees Celsius increase could put 9% to 14% of species in all ecosystems at a very high risk of extinction. The planet has already warmed by 1.1 degrees Celsius. This assessment is part of the new report from the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC. Prepared by 270 scientists, the study reviewed 34,000 research papers and assessed the impacts of climate change on human development and biodiversity. The climate panel classifies the extinction risk for 9% to 14% of species in all ecosystems as likely with a 1.5 degrees Celsius warming. In a scenario of 2 degrees Celsius global average warming, the extinction risk rises to a range of 10% to 18%, reaching a maximum of 48% in a 5 degrees Celsius scenario. The groups at the highest risk are invertebrates and pollinators, followed by amphibians and flowering plants. Although scenarios where global warming is contained to up to 2 degrees Celsius are much less harmful to biodiversity, the report notes that even the minimum projected extinction rate, 9%, is 1,000 times higher than the natural rate. Since the last report of this kind released by the IPCC in 2014, the geographic coverage of research has been expanded, as well as the climate models used in scenario projections. One thing that surprised us is that several hotspots in Brazil, in the Amazon, Atlantic Forest, and Cerrado, are among the most well-studied in the world in terms of projected climate change impacts, says Mariana Vale, a researcher at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, UFRJ, and one of the authors of the IPCC report. Since the last edition of the report in 2014, there has been a significant generation of knowledge. But there is still a lack of studies in the Caatinga, Pantanal, and Pampas, she points out. Global warming is directly affecting biodiversity, as the climate changes caused by this phenomenon can hinder the development of many species. All living beings are adapted to live in their habitat, where they find the necessary elements, such as food, for their survival. Changes in this environment can endanger various species and even lead to extinctions. Currently, it is noticeable how global warming is a factor that interferes with biodiversity. Global warming is the increase in the planet's average temperature due to the intensification of the greenhouse effect. This increase is mainly caused by the accumulation of certain gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, which are normally found in the atmosphere but are currently at elevated levels due to the burning of fossil fuels. With the increase in the planet's average temperature, various changes can occur. Among the most noticeable modifications, we can cite the melting of polar ice caps and the consequent increase in ocean water volume, the expansion of deserts, changes in rainfall patterns, the appearance of storms and floods, as well as the increase in cases of hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones. Therefore, we see that global warming represents much more than just a temperature increase and is related to various climate changes. All these climate changes can interfere with biodiversity since all species are adapted to a specific environment. By modifying this environment, we directly influence the survival of these species, as we can cause the death of some and even provoke their extinction. Imagine, for example, the melting of polar ice caps. It does not only affect sea levels but also directly impacts the organisms inhabiting these areas. This is the case for the polar bear living in the Arctic. Recently, research has reported that cannibalism among these animals has increased considerably in recent years due to global warming. This behavior is related to the difficulty in capturing their usual prey caused by ice melting, leading the bears to seek alternative food sources. It is important to note that although the polar bear example is well known, it is not the only case of an animal affected by global warming. Alternating periods of drought and rain are essential for the survival of many species, such as amphibians, which spend part of their life cycle in aquatic environments and another part on land. During the reproduction of these organisms, the presence of water is crucial, as the eggs are laid in this environment. Therefore, an unexpected drought can directly affect their reproduction. Moreover, prolonged droughts dry out the very sensitive skin of these organisms. Water is influenced by various phenomena beyond the hydrological cycle. This cycle depends on natural phenomena for its proper functioning, as everything is interconnected. such as the formation of rain, which depends on evaporation under the effects of solar radiation, which depends on rain infiltration in the soil, and so on. In this way, natural phenomena, like the planet's heating cycles, are currently influenced by human actions, such as the large emission of polluting gases, resulting in the planet's temperature increase. The development model adopted by modern society is based on the burning of fossil fuels, high industrialization, and urbanization levels, all of which contribute to the planet's temperature rise. Global warming can also increase the number of epidemics in the world and thus affect various species. The Aedes aegypti mosquito, for example, finds a favorable environment for its proliferation at high temperatures, leading to an increase in the transmission of diseases such as dengue and Zika among humans. Besides Aedes, many other vectors and etiological agents reproduce better in warmer environments, affecting the health of many species. Therefore, it is clear that there are several ways in which global warming can impact the various populations on our planet. The examples cited are just a few compared to the number of species threatened by rising temperatures and climate change. It is also important to say that a single species can cause drastic consequences to the ecosystem, as it can affect entire food chains. If you enjoyed this content, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to not miss the upcoming documentaries. Thank you for watching until here. Stay with this documentary about the Starbucks benefit system and how it takes your money without you being able to get it back. See you there.